Welcome back to my channel. My name is Graslin. We're going to be talking about the Taurus-Scorpio opposition today. This kind of energy or this opposition kind of theme, this also applies if you have Venus aspected to Pluto, Venus in Scorpio, Venus in the 8th house, Pluto in Taurus, Pluto in the 2nd house, Taurus in the 8th house, so if you have a Libra rising, or Scorpio in the 2nd house, again, if you have a Libra rising. So, Taurus and Scorpio opposition. I think this is one of the most fascinating oppositions. I think it's a very important, almost kind of like lesson to life. Taurus-Scorpio opposition it's basically construction, transformation, and growth. That's basically what it means. Taurus constructs, Scorpio transforms, and when you do this, you have growth. And then of course, if you have the opposite of this, right, you deteriorate, like you fall apart. Both of these signs have a lot to do with values. That's really, really important. So you could also say construction, transformation, and values. Basically, Taurus represents the material values. It represents our own values. And then Scorpio represents other people's values and emotional values. Right? So Taurus is what we own, and Scorpio is what we own with other people. Our combined assets and our emotions and our feelings, because when you relate to other people, you kind of have this, right? You share emotions, right? Taurus is way too focused on accumulating stuff. Right? And you can just get more and more and more stuff, and you have all of this stuff on your back, right? You just carry it, and it's weighing you down. And the problem is with your material values is that not all of it is valuable. And so you kind of, if you're stuck in this Taurus area, you have way too much emotional baggage, right? You have way too much crap in your life, and you need to just get rid of it. And that's what Scorpio helps with in this opposition. Scorpio helps you get rid of it. Why do you have 5 cars? Why do you have 5 houses? Do they even make you happy? Are they more of liabilities instead of assets? You think owning a nice car is great, but the problem with owning a nice car is that you have to take care of it, you have to watch it, right? You can become very crazy, and the stuff can own you. And then Scorpio comes in and says, okay, hey, get rid of the car, get rid of the house, get rid of the stuff, become a minimalist. What is the stuff that you truly value? And then once you cut out the crap, the Taurus can really shine, because then it's like the stuff that I really own is really valuable and it really makes me happy. And then on the flip side, you have the emotional values of Scorpio. So the problem with Scorpio is that Scorpio is almost kind of like this gypsy or something. Like they don't have a home, they don't have stuff, they don't have values, because they're kind of always moving, they're always transforming. They don't achieve any standard of value because they always destroy it, right? They always get rid of stuff. Scorpios have such high standards, and Scorpio is a very intense sign. Taurus is very passive, and things tend to just accumulate in their life. Scorpio is so serious and so intense that it's very reluctant about the stuff it has. And so they don't have anything. They have no value. And so Taurus comes in and teaches you, hey, establish some value. What is it in your life that you can hold on to, where you can find true stability? Right? And so Taurus helps ground the Scorpio energy, because Scorpio can be too crazy. It's way too, and Scorpio is also a romantic sign, and it loves being in love, and it's very intense and it's very emotional. And there's a tendency to get involved in bad relationships, to place your value in other people too much. Taurus is like, put value in something that you can really put value in. Put value in your education. Put value in like a house that you can always come home to, and it will always accumulate value, something like that. So that's the first dynamic of this opposition. The next is tradition and change. So, and this is pretty obvious, Taurus is very, very traditional. It's very, very stubborn. It's very much by the books, They do the same thing every single time because it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's how Taurus lives its life. And then Scorpio changes it. You know, Scorpio is always about kind of looking beneath. You know, how can we do this better? What is a more intelligent way of doing this? Right, so Scorpio likes to look behind the scenes. Well, why do we do it this way? You know, Taurus doesn't really question. It's kind of status quo. It's like, oh yeah, this is just what you do because that's what everyone, you know, whatever. Scorpio looks beneath and it likes to see, well, why do we do this? You know, and the importance of this, you know, you can almost say it's almost like the conservative and the liberal, right? And basically they're both important. Right? You want to conserve what's important in your life, but if you're too conservative, you don't develop, you don't progress, and you stagnate and you even deteriorate, right? You don't grow. But if you change too much and you're too liberal about things and you're too progressive, then you destroy things that were actually important. You destroy structures that were actually doing good. So that's how these signs blend together, is that you destroy things when they don't work anymore, but you maintain the things that serve a purpose. Next is the life and death dynamic. So Taurus represents life, Scorpio represents death, right? So as I said before in my Taurus video, I think Earth rules over Taurus, you know, because Earth is the only planet that has life on it. Right? And Taurus is it's about life. You know, Taurus is a sign about life. You know, if you think of life itself, it's kind of suffering and kind of just fighting through it. You know, that's what life is. Life is just suffering. And it's like, how much can you take it? How much longer can you get through this? And it's that stubborn energy that I'm gonna live anyway, right? That's how all living things are. They just have this stubborn willingness to keep on living despite the circumstances, despite how hard it is to stay alive, right? It's that fixed earth. It's that you know, I'm gonna bear through it. I'm durable, right? So, and Earth is fixed itself. It was originally seen as the center of the solar system. You know, it's the only planet that has water, right? It's a very beautiful planet, right? It's very Taurus, right? Especially because life is very concerned with accumulating material possessions. Especially today's age, it's all about greed and it's all about getting money. It's all about hoarding stuff, because that's how life is. Life is all about what can I get now and consume as soon as I get it. And then of course Scorpio is obviously death, because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto is the planet of death. You know, that's the opposition between these signs, life and death. The problem is that Taurus can kind of live life and not live to the fullest, right? So you're living life, but you're too secure, you're too stable. Like, you know, like people who are kind of like hermits, or they just stay in their house, or they're too, they do everything the same, they live the same, they do the same thing. They're very security based. They don't want to let go, right? And Scorpio, which helps with the opposition, kind of helps you pull out, helps you really live life. How do you live life if you don't take risks every now and then? How do you truly experience what life has to offer without the opposition of death? And you can almost think about it, people who live near-death experiences have a revelation. They start living life to the fullest, right? They take that Taurus energy, that desire to live, and they take it up by like 1,000 notches, because they've realized they've brushed shoulders with death. They know what it's like. Oh my God, I almost lost my life. I better start living my life now. I heard a really, really great quote that really explains the Scorpio Taurus dynamic, and it's, die before you die so you don't die when you die. Kill parts of yourself off before you actually die, so that you don't die, right? So that when you do die, you've actually lived, so you don't die when you die. So you've actually lived when you lived. Hopefully that makes sense. I feel like most people won't get that, and like I said, it's all about growth. It prolongs life, because you kill parts of yourself off and you only leave the parts of yourself that are strong and durable and are actually important, so that you can build more, so that the Taurus energy can build on to the Scorpio, right? And like I said before, Scorpio has a tendency to kill parts of yourself off that are important. Like Scorpios have, you know, it's like identity crisis and everything doesn't work and I'm just gonna kill myself, or there's this desire to move on to the next life or whatever, you know, like this fascination with death, like this wanting to experience the paranormal, right? This wanting to experience the chaos and to, you know, go into crazy town. And then Taurus helps ground you and it helps you establish a sense of order. It helps build establishments to help you live life, to help you feel grounded and safe and secure after Scorpio has destroyed the stuff in your life that was actually important. And that's basically the next dynamic, which is construction and deconstruction. Taurus constructs and creates. Scorpio destroys and destructs and gets rid of the parts that are not important. You know how Taurus kind of rules over the throat? You eat food, you nourish yourself, you feed yourself, and then Scorpio separates the good from the bad, right? And it excretes the waste, right? You pee and then you poop. You get rid of the stuff that you don't need anymore, right? Especially because, you know, I forgot to mention this, but Taurus's life, Scorpio is death, but Scorpio is also rebirth. You know, Scorpio is also the giver of life. So it takes life, but it gives life. And it's transformation, right? As I've said in the beginning of the video, it's transformation of life. You die in this life, and then you reincarnate into a new life, if you believe in reincarnation. If you don't, then I don't know. But live a life, and then you kill it, and then you live a new life. And then you kill it, and then you live another life. So you can experience all there is to life. But if you kill yourself before actually living a life, then what are you doing? And last but not least, with this dynamic is the order versus chaos. And Jordan Peterson obviously talks about this all the time, this order versus chaos idea. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, this is such a Taurus Scorpio thing. Because the order is the Taurus. There's order, there's stability, there's security, you are good to go. And then there's the chaos, it's going out into the dark. But you still have a foot on land, you still have a foot in the security, and then you have one foot out in the chaos. And you're on this yin and yang, right? You're on this, this middle ground. You're living life to the fullest, just enough, right? You're not living so chaotically that you die, but you're not so stable that you're not growing, right? You're living life just enough, just so that you can grow and prosper and build and create new things and stuff like that, right? And honestly, I'll link down a Jordan Peterson video, and he'll talk about the order chaos thing, and that's exactly the Taurus-Scorpio dynamic. And if you have an opposition between these signs, just listen to what he says about order and chaos. Thank you for watching this video. I really, really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I think this opposition stuff is fascinating. I love talking about it. And yeah, I'll see you in my Sagittarius Gemini opposition video. Bye.